My dear friends, today I want to speak to your heart about something that's been stirring in my spirit for quite some time. It's about kindness, but not the kind of kindness you might be thinking of. No, today we're going to dive deep into the true nature of kindness and how understanding it can unlock your purpose, ignite your potential, and propel your leadership to heights you've never imagined. You see, God created you with a unique purpose. You are here to fulfill a divine destiny that only you can achieve. But let me tell you something. Misguided kindness can be one of the biggest obstacles standing between you and that destiny. Now, don't get me wrong. Kindness is a virtue, a fruit of the Spirit. But like any fruit, it needs to be cultivated properly to reach its full potential. Think about this for a moment. God has blessed you with resources, your time, your money, your energy. These are not just gifts, they're responsibilities. They're the tools you need to fulfill your purpose. But how often do we squander these resources in the name of kindness? We give and give until our bank accounts are empty. We say yes to every request until our calendars are overflowing. We pour out our energy in others until we have nothing left for ourselves or for the work God has called us to do. My friends, this is not true kindness. This is not good stewardship of the resources God has entrusted to you. True kindness, godly kindness, understands that you cannot pour from an empty cup. It recognizes that taking care of your resources is not selfishness, it's responsibility. It's about being a good steward of what God has given you so that you can make a lasting impact. Now, you might be thinking, but Pastor Myles, isn't kindness the foundation of good relationships? And you're right, to an extent. But let me tell you something. Relationships built on misguided kindness are like houses built on sand. They might look good on the surface, but they won't stand the test of time. When you're always the one giving, always the one sacrificing, always the one saying yes, you're not building a relationship, you're creating a dependency. You're robbing others of the opportunity to grow, to contribute, to fulfill their own purpose. True kindness, the kind that builds strong, lasting relationships, is rooted in mutual respect and reciprocity. It's about empowering others, not enabling them. It's about challenging people to grow, not just making them comfortable. It's about seeing the potential in others and helping them to see it in themselves. Let's talk about leadership for a moment. Leadership is not about being liked. It's about guiding people towards a vision, about helping them fulfill their potential. But misguided kindness can turn a leader into a people pleaser, more concerned with avoiding conflict than with driving progress. When you prioritize being kind over being effective, you're not leading, you're following. You're allowing the desires and expectations of others to dictate your actions rather than following the vision God has given you. True kindness in leadership is about having the courage to do what's right, even when it's not popular. It's about speaking the truth in love, even when that truth is hard to hear. It's about making tough decisions for the greater good, even when those decisions might hurt in the short term. It's about seeing the best in people and challenging them to live up to it. God put you on this earth to make an impact, to leave a legacy. But misguided kindness can keep you small. It can keep you focused on temporary relief rather than lasting change. When you're always putting out small fires, always responding to the immediate needs around you, you miss the opportunity to address the root causes. You miss the chance to create systemic change to transform lives and communities. True kindness, kingdom kindness, is strategic. It's visionary. It looks beyond the immediate need to the bigger picture. It asks not just how can I help, but how can I empower? How can I create lasting change? It's about planting seeds that will grow into mighty oaks, not just handing out fruit that will be consumed and forgot. Say, my friends, what does true kindness look like? Let me tell you, the true kindness starts with self-leadership. It recognizes that to lead others, you must first lead yourself. It prioritizes self-care not as an indulgence, but as a necessity for effective service and leadership. It's about filling your own cup so that you can pour into others from your overflow, not from your reserve. True kindness is rooted in purpose. It aligns your actions with your God-given calling. It's not about random acts of niceness, but intentional acts of impact that move you and others closer to fulfilling your divine destiny. It's about understanding that every act of kindness should be a step towards your purpose and the purposes of those around you. True kindness empowers others. It doesn't just meet needs, it builds capacity. It doesn't just offer a handout, it offers a hand up. It sees the potential in others and challenges them to rise to it. It's about teaching people to fish, not just giving them a fish. It's about equipping others with the tools and skills they need to succeed. not just solving their problems for them. True kindness is transformative. It doesn't just alleviate symptoms, it addresses root causes. It doesn't just change circumstances, it changes lives. It leaves a legacy that outlasts your lifetime. It's about creating ripple effects that continue long after you're gone, impacting not just individuals, but families, communities, and even nations. My brothers and sisters, I believe God is calling us to a kindness revolution, not a revolution of weak, people pleasing niceness, but a revolution of strong, purposeful, transformative kindness. This is the kindness that will change the world. This is the kindness that will fulfill your purpose. This is the kindness that will unleash your leadership potential. Examine your kindness. Is it aligned with your purpose? Is it empowering others? Is it creating lasting change? If not, it's time for a change. It's time to elevate your understanding of kindness and start practicing it in a way that aligns with your divine calling. Start by being kind to yourself. Honor the purpose God has placed within you. Steward your resources wisely. Set boundaries that protect your calling. Invest in your growth and development. Remember, you can't give what you don't have. You can't lead others where you haven't gone yourself. Self-kindness isn't selfish. It's the foundation of true, impactful kindness towards others. Then look for opportunities to practice strategic kindness. Don't just meet needs. Build capacity. Don't just solve problems. Develop problem solvers. Don't just help people survive. Empower them to thrive. Look for ways to create systemic change, not just temporary relief. Ask yourself, how can my kindness today create a better tomorrow? Remember, you were born to impact your generation. You were created to leave a legacy. Don't let misguided kindness hold you back from the greatness God has placed within you. Embrace the true transformative kindness that aligns with your purpose, unleashes your potential, and establishes your leadership. Now, let's dive deeper into the practical aspects of true kindness. How can we apply this concept in our daily lives? How can we shift from a mindset of indiscriminate niceness to one of purposeful, impactful kindness? First, we need to understand that true kindness is rooted in wisdom. The book of Proverbs tells us that kindness and truth shall not forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. This verse teaches us that kindness and truth go hand in hand. True kindness isn't about telling people what they want to hear. It's about speaking truth in love, even when it's difficult. In your relationships, this might mean having honest conversations about behaviors or patterns that are holding someone back. It might mean setting clear boundaries and expectations. It might mean allowing someone to face the natural consequences of their actions rather than constantly bailing them out. These actions might not feel kind in the moment, but they are truly kind because they foster growth and development. In your workplace, true kindness might look like providing constructive feedback to help a colleague improve their performance. It might mean delegating tasks to team members to help them develop new skills, even if it would be easier to do the work yourself. It might mean making tough decisions for the long-term health of the organization, even if those decisions are unpopular in the short term. In your community, true kindness might involve addressing systemic issues rather than just treating symptoms. Instead of just donating to a food bank, you might start a job training program to help people secure stable employment. Instead of just tutoring struggling students, you might work to improve the education system as a whole. These actions require more effort and commitment, but they create lasting change. Now, let's talk about the power of intentional kindness. Too often, we practice kindness haphazardly, responding to whatever need presents itself in the moment. But what if we approach kindness with the same strategic planning we apply to other areas of our lives? Imagine if you woke up each morning and asked yourself, how can I be intentionally kind today in a way that aligns with my purpose and creates lasting impact? This simple question can transform your approach to kindness and amplify its effect. For example, if your purpose involves mentoring the next generation, your intentional kindness might involve setting aside time each week to meet with a young person in your field. If your purpose involves promoting health and wellness, your intentional kindness might involve organizing a community fitness class or advocating for healthier food options in local schools. By aligning your acts of kindness with your purpose, you create a powerful synergy. Your kindness becomes more impactful because it's focused and intentional, and your purpose is furthered through each act of kindness. But remember, true kindness isn't always easy. In fact, it often requires great courage. It's easy to be nice. It's easy to avoid conflict, to tell people what they want to hear. to take the path of least resistance. But true kindness requires backbone. It requires conviction. It requires a deep-seated belief in the potential of others and the willingness to do whatever it takes to help them realize that potential. Sometimes being kind means saying no. Sometimes it means allowing others to face the consequences of their actions. Sometimes it means stepping back and letting others step up. These aren't easy things to do, but they're necessary for growth, for development, for the fulfillment of purpose. Think about this one. If you always do everything for your children, if you never let them face challenges or solve problems on their own, are you really being kind? Or are you stunting their growth and development? The same principle applies in all relationships and interactions. Now, let's address a common misconception about kindness. Many people believe that being kind means always being gentle, always being agreeable, always putting others' needs before your own. But this is a limited and ultimately harmful view of kindness. True kindness, the kind that changes lives and transforms communities, is strong. It's assertive. It's willing to be unpopular for the sake of doing what's right. Think about the great leaders and change makers throughout history. They weren't always gentle or agreeable. They often faced opposition and criticism, but their actions, rooted in a deep commitment to the well-being and advancement of others, were profoundly kind. Consider Martin Luther King Jr. His fight for civil rights wasn't always perceived as kind by his contemporaries. He faced criticism, arrest, and violence, but his actions, driven by a vision of equality and justice, were ultimately acts of tremendous kindness that transformed a nation. Or think about a parent who sets firm boundaries for their child. In the moment, the child might not perceive these boundaries as kind, but the parent, with a longer-term perspective and a commitment to the child's growth and development, knows that these boundaries are acts of true kindness. This is the kind of kindness you want to embody. A kindness that's willing to be misunderstood in the short term for the sake of long-term impact. A kindness that's rooted in vision and purpose, not just in fleeting emotions. Now, let's talk about the relationship between kindness and leadership. True kindness is one of the most powerful leadership tools at your disposal, but it's often misunderstood and underutilized. Leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. It's about seeing the potential in others and helping them realize it. It's about creating an environment where people can thrive and reach their full potential. And what is all of this if not kindness? But here's the king. This kind of leadership kindness isn't about being soft or permissive. It's about having high standards and helping people meet them. It's about providing both challenge and support. It's about being willing to have difficult conversations and make tough decisions for the good of the individual and the organization. When you lead with true kindness, you create a culture of growth and excellence. You inspire loyalty not through fear or obligation, but through genuine care and commitment to your team's success. You create an environment where people are excited to come to work, where they feel valued and empowered to contribute their best. This kind of leadership kindness extends beyond your immediate team or organization. As a leader, you have the opportunity, and I would argue the responsibility, to use your influence for the greater good. This might mean mentoring up-and-coming leaders in your field. It might mean using your platform to advocate for important causes. It might mean leveraging your resources to create opportunities for underserved communities. Remember, true leadership is about impact, not position. And true kindness is one of the most powerful ways to create lasting, meaningful impact. Now, let's talk about kindness and vision. Your vision, that big God-given dream that keeps you up at night, requires kindness to be fulfilled, but not just any kindness. It requires strategic kindness, visionary kindness. You see, misguided kindness can actually be a vision killer. It can distract you with immediate needs and prevent you from focusing on your long-term calling. It can drain your resources and energy, leaving you with nothing to invest in your dream. But true kindness fuels your vision. It attracts the right people to your cause. It creates an environment where creativity can flourish and innovation can thrive. It builds a community of supporters who are invested not just in what you do, but in why you do it. Think about it. When you practice true kindness, the kind that empowers others, that creates lasting change, that aligns with your purpose, you're not just helping individuals. You're building a movement. You're creating a ripple effect that can amplify your vision far beyond what you could achieve on your own. This is why it's so crucial to align your kindness with your vision. Every act of kindness should be a step towards realizing your God given dream. Every person you help, every life you touch should in some way contribute to the fulfillment of your vision. This doesn't mean being calculating or manipulative in your kindness. Far from it, it means being intentional and strategic. It means understanding that your resources, your time, energy, and influence are precious and using them in ways that create the greatest impact. For example, if your vision involves eradicating poverty in your community, your kindness might involve not just providing immediate relief to those in need, but also creating job training programs, advocating for policy changes, and partnering with local businesses to create employment opportunities. Each act of kindness becomes a building block towards your larger vision. Now, let's talk about the transformative power of kindness when practiced with purpose and intentionality. Kindness has the power to change not just individual lives, but entire systems and societies. Think about some of the greatest transformations in history: the abolition of slavery, the civil rights movement, the fall of apartheid. At their core, these were all acts of profound kindness, a recognition of the inherent dignity and worth of every human being, and a willingness to fight for that recognition to be universally acknowledged and respected. This is the kind of kindness you're called to embody, a kindness that doesn't just make people feel good in the moment, but one that challenges the status quo, a kindness that fights injustice, that speaks truth to power, that believes in a better world and works tirelessly to create it. This kind of transformative kindness starts with a change in perspective. It requires us to look beyond the surface level of situations and see the underlying systems and structures at play. It requires us to ask not just, how can I help this person, but how can I change the conditions that created this need in the first place? For example, if you see someone who's homeless, the immediate kind response might be to give them some money or buy them a meal. And there's nothing wrong with that. But transformative kindness asks, why is this person homeless? What systems have failed them? How can we create a society where homelessness is not an issue? This is not to say that we shouldn't engage in immediate acts of kindness. Those are important too. But we need to couple those immediate acts with a commitment to long-term systemic change. We need to be willing to tackle the root causes of issues, not just treat the symptoms. This is where true transformative kindness has its greatest impact. Now, I want you to understand something crucial. This kind of transformative kindness isn't just for world leaders or high-profile activists. It's for you right where you are. You have the power to practice transformative kindness in your family, in your workplace, in your community. Every interaction, every decision, every action is an opportunity to sow seeds of transformation. In your family, transformative kindness might look like breaking generational cycles of dysfunction or abuse. It might mean having difficult conversations about unhealthy patterns and working together to establish new, healthier ways of relating. It might mean modeling forgiveness and reconciliation, even when it's hard. In your workplace, transformative kindness could involve advocating for more inclusive policies. It might mean mentoring younger colleagues and helping them navigate career challenges. It could involve pushing for more ethical business practices, even when it might impact short-term profits. In your community, transformative kindness might lead you to get involved in local politics or community organizations. It might inspire you to start programs that address unmet needs. It could mean using your voice to speak up for those who are marginalized or overlooked. Remember, my friends, true kindness is not passive. It's not just about being nice or avoiding conflict. True kindness is active. It's engaged. It's willing to get its hands dirty in the work of creating real, lasting change. Now, let's talk about the cost of true kindness, because make no mistake, there is a cost. True kindness, the kind that transforms lives and communities, often comes at a personal price. It might cost you time, energy, resources. It might cost you comfort and convenience. It might even cost you relationships or opportunities. But here's what I want you to understand. Whatever the cost of kindness, the cost of unkindness is far greater. The cost of turning a blind eye to injustice, of prioritizing comfort over compassion, of choosing apathy over action. That it's a cost paid not just by you, but by your community, by future generations, by the very fabric of our society. So yes, true kindness might be costly, but it's an investment with returns that far outweigh the initial price. When you invest in kindness, you're investing in a better future. You're investing in the fulfillment of your God-given purpose. You're investing in the kind of legacy that outlasts a lifetime. Now, let's address a common concern. Some of you might be thinking, but Pastor Myles, if I practice this kind of radical kindness, won't people take advantage of me? Won't I burn out? These are valid concerns, and they bring us back to the importance of wisdom in our kindness. Remember, true kindness is not about being a doormat. It's not about saying yes to every request or sacrificing yourself to the point of exhaustion. True kindness is discerning. It's strategic. It knows when to say yes and when to say no. It understands that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is to set a boundary or to allow someone to face the consequences of their action. Think about it this way. If you burn yourself out in the name of kindness, how much good will you really be able to do in the long run? If you allow others to take advantage of you, are you really helping them, or are you enabling harmful behaviors? This is why self-kindness is so crucial. You need to take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, in order to have the resources to practice transformative kindness towards others. This isn't selfishness. It's good stewardship. It's about maintaining your capacity to make a lasting impact. Now, let's talk about the ripple effect of true kindness. When you practice this kind of purposeful, transformative kindness, you're not just impacting the immediate recipient of your actions. You're creating waves that spread far beyond what you can see. Think about it. When you show kindness to someone, you're not just helping that person in that moment. You're modeling kindness for everyone who witnesses your action. You're creating an environment where kindness is valued and practiced. You're inspiring others to pay it forward. Moreover, the person you've shown kindness to is now more likely to show kindness to others. They've experienced the power of kindness firsthand, and that experience can transform how they interact with the world. This ripple effect is how individual acts of kindness can lead to societal transformation. It's how a single person committed to practicing true kindness can impact an entire community or even a nation. Let me share a personal story to illustrate this point. Years ago, I met a young man who was struggling with addiction and homelessness. The easy thing would have been to give him some money and move on. But I felt called to do more. I took the time to really listen to his story, to understand the circumstances that had led him to this point. Over time, I was able to help him get into a rehabilitation program and connect him with job training opportunities. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks and challenges along the way. But eventually, this young man was able to turn his life around. Now, here's where the ripple effect comes in. This young man didn't just improve his own life. He went on to start a program helping other people struggling with addiction. He became an advocate for better addiction treatment and homelessness prevention policies in our community. The kindness he received inspired him to become an agent of kindness and transformation for others. That's the power of true kindness. It doesn't just change a moment, it can change a life, and a changed life can go on to change countless other lives. What's wrestling? Will your kindness create? How will the kindness you show today impact your community tomorrow, next year, or even generations from now? Now, let's talk about kindness as a spiritual discipline. In the Bible, kindness is listed as one of the fruits of the Spirit. This means that as we grow in our relationship with God, kindness should be an increasingly evident characteristic. But here's the thing, like any fruit, kindness needs to be cultivated. It doesn't just happen automatically. It requires intentionality, practice, and yes, discipline. This means actively looking for opportunities to show kindness. It means pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to help others. It means being willing to show kindness even when you don't feel like it, even when the other person doesn't deserve it. Remember, God's kindness towards us isn't based on our merits. Romans 2:4 tells us that it's God's kindness that leads us to repentance. In the same way, our kindness towards others shouldn't be based on whether we think they deserve it. True kindness, godly kindness, is given freely without expectation of return. Practicing kindness as a spiritual discipline also means reflecting on our actions and continuously seeking to grow in this area. It means examining our motivations. Are we being kind for the right reasons? Are we being kind in ways that truly help others and glorify God? As you cultivate kindness in your life, you'll find that it begins to change you from the inside out. It softens your heart. It opens your eyes to the needs around you. It aligns you more closely with the heart of God. And that's addressed a crucial point, the relationship between kindness and justice. Too often we see these as separate, even opposing concepts. We think of kindness as soft and gentle and justice as hard and unyielding. But in God's economy, kindness and justice go hand in hand. True kindness cares deeply about justice. It's not content with just alleviating immediate suffering. It wants to address the root causes of that suffering. It's not satisfied with just helping individuals. It wants to transform systems and societies. Think about Jesus. He was the epitome of kindness, but he also spoke out forcefully against injustice. He showed compassion to the marginalized, but he also challenged the systems and attitudes that push people to the margins in the first place. This is the kind of kindness we're called to embody. A kindness that feeds the hungry, but also asks why people are going hungry in a world of plenty. A kindness that welcomes the stranger, but also challenges unjust immigration policies. A kindness that comforts the oppressed, but also confronts the oppressors. This kind of kindness justice isn't always comfortable. It might put us at odds with those in power. It might require us to examine our own complicity in unjust systems. But it's the kind of kindness that has the power to truly transform our world. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to practice intentional, strategic kindness. How can my kindness today align with my purpose? How can it empower others? How can it create lasting change? Look for opportunities to be kind in ways that matter. Don't just meet needs, build capacity. Don't just solve problems, develop problem solvers. Don't just help people survive, empower them to thrive. And remember, this starts with being kind to yourself. Honor your purpose, respect your boundaries, invest in your growth, because you can't give what you don't have and you can't lead others where you haven't gone yourself. My dear friends, the power to change the world through true kindness is within you. It's not something you need to acquire. It's something you need to activate. It's part of your divine DNA waiting to be expressed. So I urge you, don't settle for a watered down version of kindness. Don't let misguided notions of niceness hold you back from the greatness God has placed within you. Embrace the true, transformative, world-changing kindness that aligns with your purpose, unleashes your potential, and establishes your leadership. Remember, you were born for such a time as this. You were created to make a difference. Your kindness, your true kindness is needed now more than ever. The world is waiting for the gift that only you can give. So go forth, be kind, but be kind in a way that matters. Be kind in a way that transforms. Be kind in a way that leaves a legacy. Because when you do, you won't just change your life. You'll change your family. You'll change your community. You'll change your nation. You'll change the world. That's the power of true kindness. That's the power of purpose-driven leadership. That's the power that God has placed within you. The time is now. The choice is yours. What will you do with the kindness God has placed within you? How will you use it to fulfill your divine purpose and potential? My friends, I believe in you. More importantly, God believes in you. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself and unleash the power of true kindness upon the world. May God bless you and may your kindness change the world.